And now, without further ado, let us bring in the pride of Nebraska, my old friend, Mr. Lionheart, Anthony Smith. Come on,
my guy. Oh, look at this guy.
What a lovely gent.
Look
Thanks
at
for
this
doing
setup,
this,
dude.
Yeah, first time for you.
Yeah,
after all these years.
You think it's like just
Everyone says
like
this.
an internet radio show, like. It's not. This is like a whole.
Everyone is surprised by the control room. Sean couldn't believe that there was an actual control room back there.
Yeah, there's like people working for you and stuff. It's wild.
Crazy.
Look at you. You made it.
Well, sort of. We're trying. They keep trying to break us down, but here we are.
We're still here. This
we keep
big
fighting.
building.
Yes.
Middle of New York
City. Thank you for doing this. I said this when Steve was here. You changed your flight. Not to come on this show, but really to meet Steve-O, right? Who was just in.
Yeah.
You're a big fan.
I definitely, we've been talking about me coming on here for a while, but I kind of, I'm so glad I got a picture with him. I wish my mom was alive to see it though.
Oh, wow.
I can't tell you how many roofs I've jumped off of and trampolines and just lots of dumb shit.
You should have told him that.
Watching Steve-O. But I was kind of fanboying a little bit. I was kind of a little bit shocked. It's happened twice today because I ran into Hoist Gracie at the hotel too.
Oh, wow.
Which was wild.
First time you meet him?
And yeah. Like
legend.
That was more of a meeting. I've shook his hand in passing before.
Okay.
But we stood and had a conversation. It was wild.
Isn't it wild though? Steve-O's referencing, your beef with Alex Pereira. He's not just
hardcore to know that.
Yo, that's I'm blown away by it. He's upset that they put. I don't know if you heard this part. They were putting on ESPN Plus when you look at the. When you try to go back to watch the fights and it's the clips.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning, this is when the deal first started, 2018, 2019. Let's say it's Aljo versus Petr Yan. So the clip, the thumbnail would be Aljo with his hand up.
Yeah.
And so Steve-O would get so mad that they ruined the fight.
Oh yeah.
That's how hardcore. And he's going back to watch the entire thing.
Listening to him talk about the live odds.
Yes.
And who's the favorite this upcoming weekend? I'm working the event. I had no idea who the favorites are. I just don't pay that close attention. He is super in tune with the sport.
Yes.
It's cool to watch.
It's amazing. Okay, so you're here because you're working the desk.
I am.
Who are you working with?
Chill.
My guy.
Chill.
We're good. Everyone's hitting me up. We're all good.
You sure?
Yes, we're totally good. Oh, well, should I not be?
No, I thought you were at first, but then I see him on Twitter. Chill's
yeah, but I think he's not talking about me, or is he trying? I don't know. I think he's mad at Jorge now.
He's definitely mad at Jorge for sure.
I think people are actually trying to make that fight.
I'd watch it for sure.
You'd watch that?
For sure.
Chill versus Jorge?
I watch slap fighting. Why wouldn't I watch that?
Yes, that is true. Wow, you and Chill, and then who's the host?
I think it's Eves.
Okay, Michael Eves.
I believe so.
Michael Eves.
Yeah.
When are we going to the booth? Enough already. I'm tired of waiting.
I don't think it's a me thing. It's the strength of the talent there already. You got Dominic Cruz, Felder.
Series.
I would. I think when one of those guys gets sick of doing the Contender Series and the smaller shows, I just need room. I think just need a spot to open up. But who would you take out to put me in?
No, I
so
don't.
good.
I think they're all amazing.
They are.
I feel like there's got to be an opening here or there. No.
I'm hoping that as the schedule ramps up, that one of those guys just gets tired and someone needs a break and they're just a little bit overworked, and I can at least start off and get my foot in the door, maybe giving just some relief to some of the travel stuff.
Have you done color analyst work for any promotion?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I've done a little bit for LFA, and I've auditioned a couple times and
Do you like it?
I love it. I think it suits my style better.
I think you would be great at it, honestly.
Bisbing is kind of an anomaly because he can do both sides. Mm-hmm. He can be a really in-depth analyst and really get into the X's and the O's, but he also can get you really excited about something that maybe you wouldn't typically be so excited about. Chael is the same way. He can make you care about anything,
right?
And feel something about it. DC's really good at that too. I think I'm closer to I'm a less funny Felder, I think. Super analytical.
Cruz as well?
Yeah.
Would fall in that bucket?
Yeah. So I think it fits my skill set better.
Felder funny.
I think Felder's really funny.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. He's incredibly talented.
He is. Very good.
Thespian.
Right.
He knows how to speak well, explain himself.
Super comfortable. He's really good on the fly too. And I guess a lot of people at home don't see it, but Felder gets thrown a lot of things.
Okay.
Right in the last second, and he adapts really, really well, where I think some of us would have a tougher time doing that.
It's one of the most amazing things what those guys do. Anyone who does MMA, but in particular the UFC, because you're doing the prelims all the way, that's 2 football games.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't realize that. Someone like Anik has to peak at 12:30, right? If it's a New York card, right? like a guy like Joe Buck who's doing a football game, like you're kind of here the entire time. There's big moments. There's
Right.
you've got to like you could blow your wad in the first fight. Something crazy happens. You still have 13 more fights to go.
Right. And Anik is so good. I think Anik is probably the best TV personality across all sports.
Wow.
I truly believe that. And that's not just because I work for the UFC and he works for the UFC. Just the amount of prep that he puts in, the amount of work that he puts in, all the other stuff, the EA Sports video game stuff,
Right.
all the hits that everyone sees before the fight even walks. Like you hear all the promos before that. He has to do all of that stuff for every single card he works. He's just, I don't know, he's so good at his job. It's crazy to watch him work.
Regarding you though, it's very, very rare in sports to be an analyst and still be active.
Right. I think the UFC is one of the only
Yes, it doesn't happen.
organizations that does that.
It doesn't happen. You'll see it in like boxing a little bit. Some guys moonlighting,
like some guest spots.
but it's extremely rare. It doesn't happen in the NBA. Like all the guys on TNT are all retired.
Right. Never in the NFL.
Has that been annoying in the sense? Not annoying in that like you don't want to do it, but sometimes you get in the crosshairs because you have to give your opinion, but you're still active.
Yeah.
Or is it actually a benefit because fights can be made? There could be like a byproduct of the things that you say on the desk.
I would say there's more downside to it than upside. The upside of it is that I'm still in the game, so I'm still very up on the nuances and the small changes in the sport. Like I'm right there with it all, so I see it as it's happening. I think it helps my own personal game, like watching different guys' styles and how they adapt to certain things. It's weird most fighters break down tape on guys that they have the potential of fighting. So it's not, what does this guy do well? It's how would I do against this guy in this situation? It's very rare that fighters watch film on this guy and have to identify his strengths and weaknesses against this guy and be completely unattached to that. So it's a little different. In terms of like the social aspect of it, it definitely keeps me on the outside a little bit because, myself included, fighters are sensitive. They don't like, I think as a whole, fighters identify themselves as fighters. So it's who we are. I think as I've gotten older, I've had a better balance and it's more fighting is something I do, and I do a lot of other things as well. But when you're younger, you're up and coming and you're still in it like that, it's your identity. So when you take a shot at someone's game, it's not that I'm meaning it to be disrespectful,
right?
But that's how they take it because it's really I'm taking a shot at who they are as a person. So I think I'm not in a lot of like social circles with a lot of fighters because I live in Nebraska. I don't hang out like that really. So I don't see a lot of them in a lot of social settings, but when I do, it's clear who doesn't want to fuck with me.
Oh, really?
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Perhaps, are you and Alex good? Like if you see him this weekend, will you say hi to him or?
I would suspect he would, but he's different in person than he is when he's got a microphone in front of his face.
What do you mean by that?
Again, I think it's one of those things where he thinks I was taking a shot at him. And I think there was a little bit of a language barrier because I don't think that I said anything that was offensive. I talked about his size. He's not anywhere close to the biggest 205er. And I was talking about his advantages and disadvantages of moving up a weight class. And this was before he fought. And then he fought, and I think everything I said was right. He didn't look significantly larger than Jan. His power wasn't as effective as it was at 185 pounds. He's not the most powerful guy at 205. And that's okay. He's a special striker. He's different in terms of his stand-up game. He's different than anybody. It's special. His ground game is coming along great, but some of the disadvantages that he had, or some of the advantages he had at 185, he doesn't enjoy at 205. And I don't think that's negative to say. It's just I think it's a fact.
Right. This is the exact same thing you were talking about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to offer opinion, somewhat critical.
Right. And it was very in passing. I thought it was very complimentary of him because it was the media day for my fight in Singapore. Yeah. So it was like, whatever. Like, here's what I think about it real briefly.
Right.
Like, I think he's fantastic here, here, and here. He's not quite as big and as powerful as he's used to being in that weight class.
But and then I'll say, this is great for you. He wins the belt on Saturday. Yeah, you're now in the crosshairs of the champ.
The best part about being fighters and me still competing is I can say whatever I want. If you're mad about it, then come do something about it.
Right.
I'm not hard to find. I've never ran from him. Any time I've seen him backstage with Glover, I've always made it a point. Me and Glover are friends, and we're very friendly. We don't pass each other and fist bump. It's hugs. How are you? How's your family? How's your wife? Say hi to his wife. Like, it's it's a very friendly relationship with Glover. So I'm not going to avoid that because Pereira's in his feelings. Like, there's a really simple solution to that.
I can't wait for this fight.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's
I
going to
love
be good.
this fight. You know what's so great about this fight? There's no friction between them, but they're two stoic, unflappable personalities, right? Like I had Yuri here on Monday, and the aura, he is so intense.
He's different, right?
He is like a true samurai. When you're talking to him, it's, you know, like there's obviously a bit of a language barrier, but he is intense. Like his posture and the way he moves his hand and everything is so fascinating.
He's so intentional.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He does. Even his, like he intentionally sits a certain way, and like it's cool to watch, actually.
It's amazing. And then you have Alex, who is, you know, stoic in his own right. Two great strikers, two completely different strikers. I don't know if there'll be a takedown, maybe one or two, maybe at the end of a round, maybe Yuri. But could I ask, and I don't know if you can give predictions or not, how you think, but like, how do you actually see the fight playing out? I don't think it goes the distance. I think given the way they strike, someone's getting knocked down, knocked out. I feel confident in saying that.
Yeah, I think there's a finish for sure. Obviously, Alex is the better striker technically. He's more fundamentally sound. Yuri is a bit hittable. I think that if he's smart, though, he's probably going to shore that up just a little bit. You can't give Pereira free shots like that.
Right.
Regardless of how his power translates to 205, he's obviously powerful enough to knock out a grown man. So I think that his leg kicks are going to be a big deal. I think there's going to be a big problem for Yuri and his movement because there's an upside and a downside to his creativity and his fluidity because he doesn't really care where the fight goes. But when you're in there with someone as dangerous as Pereira, you kind of have to care. You know what I mean? So I favor Alex a little bit just because of he's so fundamentally sound. He doesn't really make that many mistakes. It took a guy like Izzy to really get to him, and that was after he tried it 4 times. You know,
right.
So I think we forget pretty quickly of how well he did against Izzy.
Okay, so you're leaning towards Alex.
I do lean Alex. If Yuri starts to wrestle, though, and starts mixing that in, even the threat of a takedown is almost as good of a takedown.
Right.
Then Alex won't be able to commit so much, and he's most dangerous when he's moving forward. Like we've seen, he's a little bit timid in the Jan fight in the first round. Once he's seen that Blachowicz was a little bit tired, then he started walking him down, and he's a really hard guy to beat when he gets kind of moving forward and running downhill. So if you can make him at least overthink the takedown a little bit, he won't have as much pressure moving forward.
Is there any chance he wins on Saturday? You're in the building and he says, Anthony, you're next.
I mean, obviously I hope so. I mean, that would be ideal, but he doesn't seem like he's the type of guy that always has his next move planned. He seems a very in the moment kind of person.
He did tweet that, I don't know if it was him that made it, like the picture of you two and the grappling and all
that. It was the silliest shit I've ever seen.
No, I know, but...
And then people were mad at me like, oh, of course you would ask him for a grappling match. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just accepted. If that's he doesn't want to do that. He knows that. He seems... But like you would describe him as stoic.
Yeah.
And I don't
You didn't like that.
I don't see him like that.
How is that possible? He like never smiles. He doesn't have any expression.
That's silly. You know, like how hard you have to try to not smile in certain situations?
Do you think he's trying? Do you think it's an act?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I think he takes his job very serious. I don't know that he's acting, but I think he puts on this game face when he's in the game.
What makes you think that it's somewhat of an act?
Because he's kind of funny. Okay. Like on his social media, like you see clips of him, you know, with this weird statue thing and
selling t-shirts.
Yeah, like he has a sense of humor.
Okay.
And like him and Glover are like super playful. But then you see him like at these fight events, and it's this stoic serial killer. Like, no, you're not. You're kind of funny.
You're not intimidated.
No.
Isn't that the best when people say you're scared? Like, I love when people say that cage fighters are scared.
There's a lot of people that I would be more afraid of than Alex.
In MMA.
Yeah.
Wow, this is amazing. You don't have your next fight yet.
I don't.
Is there a chance they're waiting to see what happens on Saturday?
I don't know. I've been asking for one, though.
Oh.
And then I seen that they booked Rakic and Blachowicz, which I was kind of hoping for the Blachowicz matchup. So
I don't know if they've actually officially announced that. I said this on Monday that they were working.
I seen a graphic of it. So I guess I don't know if it's official, but I seen the graphic that fight was.
Good to have Rakic back in the mix.
For sure. Okay,
so
I like that guy.
Yeah, you guys are friends now, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
You hated each other or disliked each other.
Yeah, we had a weird thing for sure. It was more competitive probably, but not this last Paris event, but the one before. we ran into each other and actually had a really lovely time.
What, you keep in touch? Like, you check in or?
He'll reach out when I fight, and I'll reach out every once in a while, check on him. We had him on the podcast not that long ago.
That is wild.
Yeah,
I remember the, what was the line? Something about Christmas. Merry Christmas to me.
Oh, Merry Christmas to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was in reference to trying to fight him,
Yeah,
right?
fight him.
And then he gets injured. So he would come back. I'm assuming Johnny and Magomed they're going to run it back. I have no information.
I would assume.
I would
guess.
That should have been a DQ, right?
I think so. Yeah, I do.
That was so weird.
It was really weird.
Just like a title fight back in the day when.
Yeah. Who was in that one?
Yeah. Should have taken it.
That whole situation was weird. I don't know if there was a weird.
Wait, which one are we talking about?
Johnny and.
Oh, I thought we were talking about you and John.
No, that's always weird.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It seemed like Johnny was ready to go.
Of course he was ready to go. Yes.
Yeah. But it was like you have two guys that neither of their first languages are English trying to communicate in English. Like I feel like you should slow that down a little bit and make sure that everyone's aware of what's happening.
100%.
And I don't know this to be a fact, but I'm of the understanding that I don't think the referee always has to take the doctor's advice. I don't believe that that's like a hard and fast rule. I don't think it's like written in black and white.
Okay.
So I think like if there's some weird misunderstanding, like I believe there was, because I do think that the fight, like it being a no contest is bullshit.
Total bullshit.
But the fight should have kept going.
100%.
So, but if it's not going to, it should have been a DQ. So
yes,
I think in that whole situation happening, I think the referee had a responsibility to be like, hold on a second, what do you mean he's not okay? Are you saying he can't fight? What did he say?
Right.
Like what's happening here? And then get a little bit of explanation and figure it out.
This thing about the no contest that drives me nuts is like they say it was intentional or unintentional, right? So here they say it was unintentional. What does that mean? He threw a knee, the guy was down, he tried to throw a knee, and it landed. To me, the only time there should really be a no contest is like, let's say you and I are about to fight, and I'm like, it's not even based off a kick.
Right.
I do something, my knee pops. Now, okay, there was no clear winner, right? I'm not talking about if you kicked me and like I broke my leg. Right. No, then you win. It's unceremonious.
Like the flying knee that Calvin Cater threw at, wasn't it a flying knee, blew his knee?
Oh, yes. God
damn it.
It depends. Like if there was a lot of damage, then I can understand. But no contest has to be like a freak thing that happens where there's no.
Right.
To me, if
I don't know why he threw the knee. Like Johnny Walker is a foot taller than you are.
Yeah.
And his head was below yours. In what world is he not grounded?
Right.
It's just irresponsible.
That's why it should be a DQ. It should
Agreed.
be DQ. And so that drives me nuts. Also,
what a nasty flying knee though that Johnny Walker threw when he pretended he was hurt.
Yo, that was amazing.
Nasty.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it's super creative.
To have the presence of mind to fake that in that moment, and then to throw the knee and like get that type of air is unbelievable. And then there's a trickle down effect. Like now they don't get their full win money and all. Like that's the part that drives me nuts. So in a situation like that, if they could just go to the corner and be like, "Hey, I'm trying to tell him. Like, can you translate this? You know what I mean?"
I think we should be a little clearer before we start taking everybody's money.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes.
I just think the whole thing was fumbled.
So they should run it back, yes?
I think so. So I want to see the fight.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out where that leaves you.
Yeah, I don't know. Me too.
Because those are the top dogs right there.
Everyone ahead of me is booked.
Right. Maybe if Alex wins?
Maybe.
Have you asked?
No.
Why not?
I just got here. Everyone's here.
I mean, you can text them.
Yeah, I try not to.
You try not to?
I don't want to bother him. I don't want to be the guy that's, constantly
Hey, what are you thinking?
begging for shit.
No, not begging. But like, what are you guys thinking? If Alex wins, is there a chance?
I just feel like I'm going to run into Mick and Hunter anyways while I'm here. So I just waited till I got here.
Better face to face?
Yeah.
Do you think there is a chance?
But yeah, I definitely think there's a chance, for sure. I mean, especially if he wins, looks good doing it, wants a quick turn.
Right. The only X factor, I guess, would be Jamal Hill, but I feel like he's out for, Achilles is...
Yeah, I think typically it's a pretty long one. Again, if Jamal's ready, then it's him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I couldn't expect to jump the line on him, and I would be kind of jumping the line anyways, which I'm fine with. I think I've been around long enough that...
Well, it's kind of like you can make the case. I love Cheeto, but if Sean wasn't banging the drum to fight Cheeto, there's a chance it's not Cheeto next.
100%.
So if Alex is banging the drum to fight you, you get to jump the line.
Yeah, and I would appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is and you think Alex wins? So
I do.
This could work out very well for you.
Yeah.
What about this Tom Aspinall Sergey Pavlovich fight? I'm a little bit worried for Tom. just because of the short notice nature of it all. Because I believe, people got mad at me for saying this, Islam could beat Alex 9 times out of 10, no problem. I don't think he knocks him out on a full camp.
Well, I don't know what a training camp does to protect
Timing,
yourself from a head
no.
kick. Not really.
You think
if he'd have gassed, then we could have an argument for sure.
Okay.
But I think that was just a really well-placed shot and well-timed. Man, you know me and my hot takes. I think Aspinall can make it look fairly easy.
I think Aspinall wins too.
I think he can make it look fairly easy if things go his way. I think that...
Short notice Aspinall, though?
He's not really short notice. He was already training, getting ready for something.
Yeah. All right.
So he's especially since his injury.
Not like a full camp, though. Pavlovich was training to be the backup fighter.
He's kind of always... I mean, come on. It's the same thing.
Okay, fine.
I think that Pavlovich is a really good power striker. He counters really well. So guys like Derek Lewis and Ty are kind of tailor-made for him because they're going to throw hard and be there when he throws back. Aspinall's not really that guy. I feel like Tom's going to pick at him and get him to overthrow and counter. If he gets a takedown, I think that's it. Now, Pavlovich is going to be hard to take down.
Right.
He's going to be really hard to take down. So I think Tom could make it really hard, but I think there's a possibility he can make it look really easy.
I feel very strongly that this should be for the vacant title, not the interim title.
How come?
Okay, let's say Jon Jones comes back in July, right? I mean, pretty serious injury. So, but let's say July, right? That will be a year and a half since his last fight.
Right.
And now they're saying, at least now, and I don't know if it ends up this way, Jon wants to fight Stipe in that fight. So now you've got a guy with an interim belt who's not even getting a crack at the champion. And then if Jon fights Stipe, is the interim champ going to get the winner? And if he gets the winner of Jon and Stipe is only going to be ready to fight in December or January. And what if Stipe beats Jon? He's going to retire. I don't believe Jon retires, but I know Stipe will retire. So now all of a sudden, the guy who won the interim belt in November of 2023 is not even going to fight the guy who won the belt in July, and then they're just going to have to turn it into a real belt. Wouldn't it have been a lot cleaner? Make this for the vacant title. If Jon wants to fight Stipe so bad, does that fight really need a belt attached to it? It's so big and it's like a legacy fight. It doesn't need that. It doesn't need that. Jon, the greatest light
But if you look back at it in 10 years, it's going to look way cooler with a belt attached to it.
Don't you think this makes this interim belt so awkward now?
Yeah, but I think those guys were probably aware of that going into it when they took the fight.
Oh, I mean, I don't begrudge them for taking the fight. Of course you're going to take the fight. I just don't understand why the UFC didn't just make this for the vacant title. Just like they made Magomed and Jan for the vacant title when Yuri got hurt. Just like they made Jamal and Glover for the vacant title. Just like this is for the vacant title.
They've treated 205 a little bit differently than they have some of the other divisions.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
I think they don't want to upset Jon Jones by taking away his belt.
I think that Jon has probably earned it, the ability to hold on to it and wait. I think there's something to be said for Jon. I'm sure Jon would argue that because you make a lot more money as champion outside of fighting. It's a lot like your pay for appearances and sponsorship deals probably triples.
Okay, so
with the title.
So can I offer this? Jon Jones versus the winner of this fight, right?
No way.
Wait,
we can't lose another big fight. We can't lose how long do we talk about Jon Jones and Anderson maybe, or GSP and Anderson, or
is this one of those though?
I think so. I think this would be the beginning of it, but both of these guys are too old for us to drag it down the road 7 or 8 years like we did the other ones.
I wouldn't call for this to be a vacant title fight if I knew that Jon was fighting the winner of this fight. Hey, this is your ticket to get to Jon Jones. You win on Saturday. This is your golden ticket. But it's not even that.
Well, and maybe they don't even fight the winner next. We've had situations where interim champions have defended.
Yes, twice. Yeah.
It was
Hannah Barrow, Robert Whitaker. No one likes that.
No, but I think it's one of those special situations where I don't know that Stipe or Jon would accept another fight with anybody else.
Okay, so my theory is Jon Jones versus the winner of this fight on Saturday is actually more intriguing than Jon versus Stipe. Crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, I want to see Aspinall versus Jones. You don't want to see that?
Oh, for sure. But do you want to see
Stipe
that
has left
at the risk of losing? I think that, I don't know, man. It's not too many times I got a lot of ambition that someone's going to do really well against Jon. And I just think that Stipe is the guy. Can he beat him? I don't know. I think that he's got a great shot at it, though. But, like, Jon's not going to start working through the contenders at heavyweight.
Aspinall's not a contender. If he wins, or Pavlovich, they would be the interim champ.
I think that those two guys, I think Aspinall and Pavlovich are fighting their toughest fight in the next handful of fights next.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Jon and Stipe fight for those two, probably easier fights than each other.
Right, yes, 100%.
Which feels disrespectful. But I just stylistically, that's how I feel it matches up, but also they're just younger and they're hungrier.
Do you think Francis would have beaten Jon after what we saw? No?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
Jon's just too dynamic. It's not about can you outstrike Jon, it's can you not let Jon neutralize you. It's not about the wrestling, it's him neutralizing how good you are. So he'll just go to where you're the best and he'll just neutralize that. He won't necessarily beat you there, but he'll just nil it. And then you got to try to and hope that you're good enough everywhere else. He's very unique.
So you think Jon would have won?
Yeah, I just don't think it would have been exciting.
Interesting.
I think it would have been a boring 5-rounder. I think that Jon would have left there without a mark on his face, but Francis probably would have too.
I think I saw you say that this was the first time that you were like proud of MMA in one of these crossover fights after watching what Francis did.
Very, very, yeah.
Blew you away, like surprised you? Did you not expect that?
No, I didn't expect that at all. Anyone that says that they did are fucking lying to you. There's no film, there's no tape study you can do, there's no fight you can go back to, there's no practice footage, there's even his open workouts. There's nothing that pointed to Francis having the ability to do that. Especially at, like, he's never been that calm. He's never been that, like, relaxed. Even when he had Tyson hurt, he didn't go crazy like he typically would have. He was faster than he's looked in ever. We've never seen him fight behind a jab. We've never seen him fight southpaw. Like,
he switched stances.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Like, maybe he has a little bit here and there on and off, but, like, if he ever switched to southpaw in the past, it was because he overthrew his right hand and he just ended up in southpaw. Like, he was switching really smoothly back and forth. He looked absolutely incredible. And I couldn't sing his praises loud enough. I think that he did the entire sport proud. And I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I don't give a shit. I'm jumping on it.
So what would you like to see him do? If you could decide,
I don't want to see him fight MMA again.
Nothing.
Why?
Yeah.
I think,
what about this Deontay Wilder mixed rules? Which
if anyone else was in that ring other than Tyson Fury, they don't stay awake. I think Francis Ngannou beats them all. Yeah. Like that Francis.
Yeah.
Now, did he have the best night he could have ever had in his entire life? Possibly. Right. But if that Francis is the one that's going to show up more times than not, I think a lot. I don't know that there's too many of those guys that do beat him. I think that he beats Joshua. That version beats Joshua. That guy. That version smokes Wilder. Absolutely smokes Wilder.
Right. Wow.
I think some of the other guys aren't even big enough to even contend. Like, I think Usyk is really, really good. I don't know if Usyk is big enough.
Do you watch boxing as much as slap fighting? You thought I was going to say MMA there.
I did think you were going to say, like, definitely not MMA. I'm a boxing fan for sure.
Yeah. It was so great for not only Francis, but like for the sport.
Wait, did we have an argument about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence one time?
Did we?
Were you on the Spence side?
No, I was not. No. I know, I mean, that's your boy.
Of course.
Terrence Crawford Canelo is something that has been bandied about.
I like that.
I'm a little bit worried about the size difference there.
There's a pretty big size difference.
I don't know if there's a ton of interest in seeing them run it back, Spence and Crawford.
I don't know why.
Maybe at like 154 or something like that, just to do it at a different weight class to see if
like
Spence,
a fresh coat of paint on it.
And Spence, he was strained and all that. But Crawford is the freaking man. He is unbelievable. Do you ever see him around town?
Oh yeah.
Are you friendly with him?
Very, very. His best friend is an MMA fighter, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Wayne Sullivan.
Wayne Sullivan.
Yeah, super cool dude.
And I know there was that one clip. Did you see that clip of him wrestling in his in someone's front?
You know who the guy was wrestling?
No.
It was Gilbert Smith.
Really?
From The Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's and I know he's done a little bit. I know his kids wrestle a little bit.
His kids are incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
I have, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you guys are like boys.
I mean, we're friendly with each other for sure. We have a different friend group,
Sure.
Yeah, we're super friendly. He calls me after I fight. I call him after his fight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, super cool.
Why didn't you
dude.
go to the fight? Were you working that night?
I think it was working.
There was the Utah card, the BMF.
Yes, I was working.
Okay.
Yep.
That was amazing. Blown away by what he did.
Yeah, he's incredible.
What would you? Okay, so going back to Francis, if you can guide him, you want him to stay in boxing.
I just think he looked so good there. I think that he looked very comfortable in that world. I mean, he kind of took a swing at the king, and I'm not sure that he actually missed.
Right.
I think winning a decision in your first fight ever like that in that situation was probably never going to happen. But if I'm Francis, I'm probably going to try to pick off Wilder, I would imagine. I think he's the next. I think you can really market that. It's like, two of the hardest hitters ever.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Deontay Wilder fan. I think that Francis is a different type of power now that we've kind of seen it.
Do you think this will now reignite the MMA versus boxing thing? Because it felt like if he was going to get smoked, that it would kill it forever, or at least for the time being. Now it feels like it's, Sean is talking about Gervonta. God knows who may try to fight. Like, it just feels like
it's going to be easier for the MMA guys at heavier weights. I think the heavier the weight classes, the less technical you always have to be. I'm not saying you don't have to be technical at heavyweight or light heavy or whatever, but I think at the heavier weight classes, MMA fighters are going to do better with the best boxers. I think the lower the weight class you get, I can't think of an MMA fighter that is going to hang with a Canelo or Terrence, or I can think of a lot of MMA fighters that are going to hang at the heavier weight class.
Sean versus like a Gervonta Davis. Do you think he could do well?
My initial thoughts was no, but I think the more I think about it, I think it's possible if O'Malley had the opportunity to step away from MMA and just focus on boxing. The way that he fights now, no. But if he only had to focus on boxing for 8-9 months, I think you would see a competitive Sean O'Malley in boxing for sure.
Even though it's a smaller weight class.
Yeah, I think so. The guys at the tip of the spear in MMA, I think, would all do well if we had the opportunity to step away and just only focus on boxing and that only. I think that a lot of them would be competitive.
Would you ever want to do this?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
What's like a dream fight for you? If you could step in the ring.
Man, honestly, I would probably have more fun doing bare knuckle.
You're crazy, man. What is wrong with you? Bare knuckle?
Yeah, like I'm a huge Alan Belcher fan.
Yo, he's fighting this weekend.
Mm-hmm. That would be a lot of fun, though.
I love how like you you have like these very sort of unique niche combat interests.
Yeah, like I'm a little bit sophisticated on the desk.
Yes.
But also like
you like all the like the real.
I'm like a little bit trailer park too.
I didn't want to use that word, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that was the word that was on the top of
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I spent lots of time in lots of trailer parks.
I understand. There's not a lot of people who would be like, I'm a huge Alan Belcher fan right now. He's enjoyed like a renaissance.
Yeah.
As a heavyweight.
And jacked.
Jacked. I questioned some of the...
The answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Like Alan Belcher versus Roy Nelson is a fight I never thought...
that we'd ever see.
Yes, a middleweight against...
I've been an Alan Belcher fan. I think the first time I really started paying attention to him was when he went leg lock for leg lock with Paula Harris.
Oh, that was nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. Old school.
So, okay, so are you saying like you versus Alan Belcher in a bare knuckle fight?
Yeah, I think
like
it would be fun.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Like my guy Chris Camosi's doing really well over there.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of guys.
I think us older guys that came up in the Midwest kind of fight scene, the bare knuckle scene very much suits us. Because those guys just go in and throw down.
Have you been to any of those?
A couple in Omaha, yeah.
Okay.
Like Houston Alexander fights bare knuckle and doing really well.
In his 50s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Insane.
I still train with him. He'll still come to practice
Really?
every once in a while. He's still tough.
Still, I would imagine he looked freaking tough. Eddie Alvarez, Mike Perry.
Insane. The Eddie Alvarez, Chad Mendes fight was insane. It's awesome. I just love the...
Who do you think wins that one?
I don't know. It's a pretty close fight, actually.
Mike is incredible when it comes to this.
And such a media marketing darling, too. Like everything he says is gold.
But he's just like, he's so perfect for that world.
Yeah, it fits him.
In the world of UFC, like he was a little bit boxed in. Here, he could just be his crazy self.
Yeah, well, he was a little bit, even his fight style was a little boxed in.
Right.
Like he just had the ability. It's like you're fighting MMA without the wrestling part of it. It kind of really suits Mike Perry. And it's cool to see him. It's cool to see him be able to spread his wings and be who he actually is, fighting and outside of it, and be accepted. It's like kind of the nuttier the better. Bare knuckle, you fit in, and he fits right in.
Should the UFC sign Dillon Danis? Well, why are you laughing?
Serious question?
Well, yeah. Come on.
To do what?
To fight.
Who?
Anyone.
You're
telling 170.
Who? Who does he beat?
Okay, okay. First of all, they signed. They signed.
Like you wrote me into like talking trash about Dana. I actually thought Danis did a great job.
I'm not roping you in. I mean, you could say no, and that's fine. But
no. At the highest level, no.
What's the highest level? Okay, what about Contender Series?
I would love that.
They would love that. I actually
It'd probably be the most watched Contender Series episode ever.
Brilliant. He's not going to do that though. Okay.
No, because he'd have to fight his way in, and I don't know. I don't know that he believes he can.
By the way, he's 2-0 in MMA. Like, it's the type of guys that you would see.
Do you know their names?
Absolutely not. I've said that.
Okay.
If some guy rang my doorbell and said, I have your DoorDash order, and oh, by the way, I fought Dillon Danis in June of 2019,
you would believe him.
I would say, yes, great fight.
That makes a
I
lot
mean,
of
I'm
sense.
sorry you lost, but I don't even know if he knows the names of the guys.
I would love to see Dillon get back into competitive jiu-jitsu because he is magical on the ground. He's so good on the ground. It's just, I thought he did a great job in the Logan Paul fight for what he has. Like, he's not a striker. He's not a boxer.
That's an interesting one because I don't think anyone thought he did a great job.
For what he is? I thought he did great.
What did he do?
I mean, he
now you're
stayed
getting me to
awake.
talk shit about. Yeah, but he didn't throw a punch.
He's not a puncher.
Yeah, but you're signing up for a boxing match.
He's signing up for a paycheck.
Yes, but like I actually thought the game plan for the first 2 rounds was smart.
I did too.
Tire him out, big guy. He's freaking launching everything.
I think that was the game plan, was to kind of get him tired and
it was
start
actually.
to walk him
Plinio
down.
told me. Plinio Cruz, who's Alex's coach, who they worked with him a little bit. But then the problem was, I think at the very end of the second round when he got rocked, he was like,
then you're a little bit gun shy.
Yeah.
When Logan's a big dude.
He's gigantic.
He's a big dude.
I mean, they were fighting at like I think it was 90 something. That's not Logan's weight class.
Well, that's not anywhere close to Dillon's like in shape.
Excuse me, Dillon's weight class. Yeah. Conor McGregor fights at UFC 300 is what I think will happen. I have no information about this, but it seems like based on everything that's been
it's headed that way.
Yeah, against Chandler, I hope. Dillon, freaking opening of the pay-per-view.
No, that's a possibility.
Yes.
Like with Conor on the card.
Yes.
For sure.
You don't think
I wouldn't even be that mad about it. I just don't think it's fair to Dillon.
Why would it not be fair? He wants this. He's like openly begging for it.
Yeah, but then you throw him on the biggest card of the year to potentially get embarrassed.
You don't think they can get a Mike Jackson type guy to fight him?
Yeah.
I mean, they did it with
CM
CM Punk.
Like current guys.
You don't think he could beat Shavkat Rahman? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
I don't.
They could sign someone to fight him.
I think Dillon is kind of a dickhead, but he's funny. I think that I don't know. I think that he could pull in a lot of eyes and a lot of dollars. So like you could definitely get your return on your investment on Dillon.
Hell yeah. Why would you let another promotion get that guy? He wants to be in the UFC. Let him fight a lower level guy on the prelims of a pay-per-view card.
Yeah, I guess with his connection with Conor, probably it's possible.
I mean, it's happened before.
I hope so. I mean, I want everyone to get paid.
Yeah.
I still don't.
You don't think he can actually have a solid MMA career?
Yeah, if he would take it serious.
Right.
Yeah, like the way he's been doing it, no. But I think he could be super successful.
Also, 2 really serious knee injuries that derailed him.
Right.
One failed. He had to go back. So people forget about that.
Right. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't use that as an excuse as much as he could, which kind of credit to him.
I was just talking with Steve-O about Almeida. He didn't like Almeida, what he did against Derek Lewis, Jelton Almeida. Which side of the fence are you on?
Probably both. Probably riding that fence a little bit. I get
You can't
it.
ride the fence. You're an analyst.
No, I understand. If you're fighting Derek Lewis and you have the style and skill set that Almeida has, of course that's what you're going to do. This game is about winning. You also can't be upset when people don't like to watch it.
Right.
Like I was super critical of Sandhagen in his fight with Font, but a win's a win. If you're gonna fight like that, and credit to him, he had an injury and had to kind of just grind it out and do what he had to do to get the win, which is the most important thing. When you leave that octagon, you should expect that people aren't gonna like it, and that's when you have to be able to just check that and say, like, fuck it, that's what I had to do to get the win. People aren't necessarily gonna like it. I'll wait till the next time and we'll clear that up. Because people forget super fast.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. He goes in there next fight and knocks out Ciryl Gane. Everyone will be like, oh my God.
Right. Like, people forget pretty quickly. I think as MMA fans, we're pretty harsh on people, but I think we're very forgiving. Like, right now, he's probably getting shit on a little bit because I thought it was fun to watch because I like seeing the technical, really small nuances and small technical advancements in his game. And I actually thought that Derek Lewis did a great job for defending the submissions with a guy like that, as tired as he was.
I thought he was done in the first round, to be honest.
So did I. So for it to go to a 5-round fight, and I think Derek deserves a lot of credit there. He's always been known as a striker. He's never been known as a grappler. I thought that he exploded at the right times. I think he was safe at the right times. Again, it's not the most exciting thing to watch. I'm a nerd. I like to watch the really slow, methodical kind of game plan stuff. But I understand that as a whole, the kind of channel flipping MMA fan is going to change the channel pretty quick. But I also am sure that deep down, when that happens, I think people understand. Like, those fighters understand. And MMA fans are pretty forgiving. If you do something incredible next, we'll leave you alone about it.
Aspinall, Pavlovich, Almeida, who has the highest ceiling of those three guys?
Right now, where they're at, I think Aspinall. I think he's the most well-rounded. I think that he's the most dangerous in more places. I don't know that Aspinall gets takedowns on Derek Lewis and doesn't finish.
Interesting.
That's kind of how I look at it. Pavlovich obviously could finish, so I think that it's between Pavlovich and Aspinall, because I think we kind of already seen how Pavlovich dealt with Derek Lewis. And at times, Almeida looked a little bit tired. I thought it was a really good fight for him to grow. I think that's like best case scenario for him.
25 minutes.
Excuse me. I think he got all the lessons of a loss, but was able to leave with a win.
Dominant win, 50-44.
Yeah, but it wasn't easy.
Right.
I think he struggled. I think he lost some positions he shouldn't have lost. I think he was really tired at points and had to kind of weather a little bit and find places to rest. I think he learned a lot from that without having to take a loss. I think it was probably best case scenario for his career.
Are you surprised Volk is coming back so soon? It's not January, but it's still February.
I am, yeah. Well, after his interview and him talking about it, not surprised.
Would you advise against it?
If I was his manager, yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, no, because I get it.
Why, if you were the manager, are you advising against it?
Because I think best case, you sit back and you kind of did the UFC a favor, so I think you have the ability to take your time. You took a pretty hard shot, but I'm less concerned about that. I think he needs to shore up some of his stuff going on in his head and come back not wanting to, like, erase something, come back because you're ready to come back and you want to prove something. Like, he wants to erase that as fast as he can. It's not always the best move. It's kind of that home run mentality I talk about all the time. Like, you just keep swinging for the fences and hoping something hits, and most of the time you're going to strike out again.
Especially against a super tough young guy.
Yeah, Toporia's good. Yeah.
Like, I would argue tougher than maybe the last couple of title defenses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Max was in there, but like Zombie and Yair, I think Topuria might be tougher.
I think he's tougher than those guys. He's going to be a tougher fight than those guys, especially right now. And I believe in Volkanovski. I think that if he comes in and he's focused and his head is in the right spot and he's physically ready, I don't have any doubts that he can beat Topuria and make it look, really impressive. But you have to be like that to beat a guy like Topuria. I feel for Volk, though. I found myself wanting to, like, I don't know, hug him when he was talking, because I understand.
In the post-fight press conference.
Yeah, I get it.
He was very emotional.
Yeah, I get it.
I was just going to ask you, have you ever experienced that?
Yeah. It was, like, especially after my mom died. Like, everyone was telling me, like, you shouldn't be fighting. What are you doing? Like, I don't know what to do with myself when I'm not fighting. I said this earlier today. A lot of the traits, I don't think this is across the board, but I think the majority of us, a lot of the traits that make us really good at our jobs and really great fighters make us really tough humans to coexist with. And I think it makes us struggle in other parts of our lives. Like, you have to focus for so many years and you have to just dial in on this one thing and it has to become who you are. And you make a lot of sacrifices and you lose a lot of friends and there's relationships. And like everything else goes to the side. And then like maybe you quote unquote make it, and then you don't have the ability to fight as often. Or like Volkanovski, how many opportunities a year does he have to fight? You know, that's like, we have to have a target always. Like fighters are better chasers. Like I think in life in general is kind of like my rule. Sports specifically, like you're either a front runner or you're a chaser. Like Jon Jones is a really good front runner. Like he's very good at keeping distance between him and whoever's number two. Most fighters are chasers. Like they always have to be chasing something. That's why you see guys like Michael Jordan, like not just fighters but athletes, like had to create things in his head. Like, oh, that guy was talking shit. Like now I have to put it on this guy. He has to chase something. When you're the champion and you don't get to fight as often, like you don't always have that target. Like now you're being chased. So it's not always, I don't know, it doesn't always, I don't know if any of that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And it would speak to why he was so enamored with the idea of fighting for the lightweight title. Because there he's chasing.
He's chasing.
Right. There's a huge gap between them. So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So but I understand, like, as the champion of your division, there's only a certain amount of pay-per-views every year. There's only a couple spots you can fight every year.
Challenges.
You have to wait on contenders, especially when you're as dominant as he's been. There's not a lot of those challengers that people can really convince you have a chance. So he's kind of spinning his wheels, and sometimes as fighters, we fall apart when we're spinning our wheels. You could have, like, I get it. He said he had a great wife, a fantastic family, life is good, he's got money in the bank, he's got crazy opportunities. Like, I felt that exact same way. I have nothing wrong going on in my life, but I'm not chasing anything. And, like, you just feel like you're spinning your wheels, and, like, I'm getting older, and I don't know what to do, and I need something to chase, and, like, I need something to work towards. I need a target, I need a date, I need a name, and it just drives you crazy.
Are you worried about when the music stops? How are you going to deal with that?
It's terrifying. Yeah, it's terrifying.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Just deal with it?
Yeah, I guess we'll just deal with it when we get to it.
What do you think?
That's kind of why I've thrown myself into the broadcasting side of it, because then at least I'm, you know, like I don't know what Volk does in his spare time, but what if I didn't have the podcast and I didn't have the radio show and I didn't have the desk jobs to prepare for? Like, I don't know what structure I would have. Like, I only fight a couple times a year because of where I'm at in the division. So I need something to look forward to. So like that's my daily, like Mondays I do the podcast, and Wednesdays I got the radio show, and Thursday we do the podcast. And if I'm working the desk, then I travel. Then I'm working on the weekends. And like, if you have too much spare time on your hands, which I suspect Volk has all the spare time in the world that he wants, what do you do with your time? Like, how often can you train without overdoing it in between fights, without burning yourself out? Like, probably spend a lot of time like sitting there trying to figure out what to do. You know what I mean?
It's amazing because 10 years ago, guys in your position, there was no podcast, there was no radio show, right? Like the dudes who were coming up in 05, 06, 07, 08. So it's great that you're able to set yourself up. Now you're doing it while you're active, but when you retire, you'll have this whole thing already.
Yeah, it's less about the money.
Along.
It's more about the time.
Right.
The time. It's like,
what about the high of walking out and the music and the people and all that? Do you think you'll crave that?
Yeah. I do a lot of, I don't know if I would say risky shit, but I do a lot of intense things that I think curbs that a little bit.
Like what?
I think that's like kind of like what Cowboy does. I think Cowboy needs that.
Okay.
Which makes a lot of sense.
You mean like stuff like ATV stuff?
Yeah, like Ride My Razor and celebrity bull riding and like just dumb shit.
You do celebrity bull riding?
Well, the last 2 times it's come up, I've been hurt, so I've had not been able to do it.
Are you allowed to do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, sure, you're allowed.
I'm going to.
You're gonna bull ride?
Absolutely.
That's insane.
Yeah,
you
but
could
like,
fall
where
on
else
your
do you
shoulder.
get that?
Yeah, I know.
Where else do you get that? There's
Have you
no
ever
high you can ever
tried it?
No, absolutely not. No, just gonna do it.
Want to do this?
For sure.
You've been offered, and you would have done it, but you were hurt.
I was hurt. Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I was hurt. It was not that long ago.
They could the bull could like step on your chest.
Yeah, fuck him.
Wow.
Stay on.
That's crazy.
It's hard to step on me when I'm on his back.
That is true. How do you train for that?
You don't.
You don't.
You just go.
Did you go on like one of those like motorized thingies?
Yeah,
It's not
that
quite the
feels
same,
fake
huh?
though.
So you just wouldn't train?
No, just go do it.
Wow. Would your wife be okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have a choice. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
King of the castle.
No, not at all.
Wow.
She just knows me.
Right. You need to do that stuff.
I do.
You see like Steve-O. You would do shit like that?
Oh no, he's pretty
next
crazy.
level.
That's next level.
The stuff he's talking about is insane. He got shot up with an epidural and then like won a race and then his whole body was paralyzed. Like he's just insane. He's insane.
I don't know how he does it sober now.
That's true, yeah.
That's even crazy.
And then trying to get the cauliflower ear.
It made a lot of sense when he was like super fucked up doing it.
Right.
You're like, I could see a world where I could get fucked up enough to do some of that stuff. Sober, not a chance.
No chance.
No chance. It's crazy.
Well, you're doing great.
Thank you.
You're working the desk.
I am. I can't believe the studio, dude.
You're impressed.
The thing is, yeah.
Thank you.
Like, a car dropped me off in front of this huge building, like people downstairs like know where you're at. Like they're taking pictures of people coming and going and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they know, like this is Ariel's building.
It's not my building at all.
Well, they think so.
Well, I appreciate that. It's nowhere
For
near.
security?
I'm very proud of
crazy.
this. Yeah.
I don't have any security for my show.
Well, you do it from home.
Yeah, you couldn't do this at home.
No,
you need another home.
This is part of the reason why I wanted to come back to the show, because I love the set. I love having people. There's nothing like we could do the Zoom ones all day and it's great, but there's something.
Yeah, it's different.
And if you're doing it from home, you can't invite people over.
No,
it's weird. Here you have multiple cameras. You've got a whole team working.
I'm happy for you. This is crazy.
Thank you.
It's cool to see a person.
Thank you. Thanks for changing your flight, even though I know you wouldn't have.
No, I probably would have.
I know you're just saying that. I know you would.
Like I was already doing it, and you're like, by the way, Steve-O's going to be here.
Yeah, I know.
All right, well that helps, I guess.
I know. I'm happy you got to meet him.
Yeah, me too.
That hit me in the heart when you said you wish that you could tell your mom.
Yeah, I do. I wish I could show that picture to my mom.
She's somewhere.
Like I don't know. Just I used to watch so much Steve-O doing dumb shit.
Yes.
And he was like
late 90s
my favorite
Jackass.
Yeah, my favorite character on Jackass. Like,
legend.
Like Bam was pretty cool, but like Steve-O was the guy.
He was the guy.
The guy.
Like if you would have told 17-year-old me or 16-year-old me that like Steve-O would just be here being like, wow, I'm so happy to be like talking MMA with you. Like there's no chance this happens.
Well, I don't want to like pump your head up at all, Ariel, but if you would have told 20-year-old me when I was making my pro debut that I would have been here with you and Steve-O, I remember like coming up wishing, like, I wish Ariel Helwani cared about what I was trying to do. I swear to God.
I appreciate that.
There's a lot of fighters like that too.
They haven't been very nice lately.
Yeah, okay.
I'm kidding.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
No, I'm kidding.
There's been a lot of beefs lately.
No beefs. There's no beefs. I was talking to Weidman yesterday. He's like, why do you got so many beefs? I was like, how many beefs? A lot of them are just pre-existing.
Yeah.
Chael and I are good.
Jamal one is pre-existing for sure. Chael, if you guys are good.
Jamal, he's just trying to build up his YouTube channel. And he sees anytime he talks about me.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of talking about me and getting numbers.
I think his YouTube channel actually looks really good.
He looks great.
He does.
In fact,
he's actually pretty good at it too.
I told Ant Evans to reach out to his manager, Brian Butler. You know Ant Evans?
I do know it.
Because he's like a YouTube expert.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know him because of Mike and everything. That's how highly I thought of his YouTube channel. I was like, he can help with SEO. He can help with the back end. But he keeps doing these videos where he thinks he's like dropping the mic on me.
He's a different character though. He lives a different life. Like
I want nothing to do with
his mentality and his personality are he doesn't really fit the mold of a lot of people in our world. He's very much.
I just don't understand where we went wrong, because the truth is he's been on the show and I was very kind and I put out videos and this and that. He didn't like one question that I asked him and then went on this whole thing about how.
That makes sense though.
Well, you were talking earlier about fighters sometimes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Could be misinterpreted.
He's very real. Like Jamal's not as proper as a lot of us in this sport now because he is who he is and he doesn't give a fuck.
Sure, but my retort to that would be like, I called him up. I tried to squash it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's that guy. I think once he's done, he's done.
What, 6 more videos? Like, why do we have to do so many videos?
I'm not defending it.
Why do we have to do so many videos?
I'm just saying his reaction to it makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm not surprised by it. Like, I think he's the type of dude, once he's done, and that's his thing.
No, that's fine. But I see you have my back, so I appreciate it.
I do.
Anytime, you know. Michael, on the other hand, not so much, but that's okay. Michael, it's fine. It's fine. Michael and I go way back. Look, did I call Michael up and say, hey, you should call up Dana White because Jacare's hurt and Weidman's hurt and you should get this title shot against Luke Rockhold and change the trajectory of his life and career? Yes, sure. But am I going to hold that? Like, am I going to feel like
Did he put that in his movie?
Yes.
Did he?
In the doc?
Yeah.
The story, he tells the story.
That's awesome.
Not only does he tell the story, he tells it in his book too.
See, it sounds like Michael's got a lot of love for you.
Seems to have forgotten, if you ask me. I mean, I was like, hey, Mike, call Dana White now. There's a title fight to be had.
It worked.
Sure, I know you're in Toronto filming a movie, but this is your chance.
Conceive.
What happened?
He made Luke Rockhold shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and changed the trajectory of his life.
He did.
Now, did I go in there and punch Luke Rockhold? No, but I feel like I was a pal.
Would you, though, if you could?
Absolutely not. I don't want to be a fighter. I don't want to fight anyone. I am
either.
terrified of all of you guys. I want nothing to do. People say that to me like, they're like, oh, look at you running off the stage when they were throwing the bottles. Of course I was running off the stage.
I was
What do
kind
you
of
What do you mean? Do you think I want to get hit in the face with a bottle?
Oh, you were out so fast.
But it was kind of, I think it was slick. I was just like, I'm just going to go over here and I dipped.
It was quick, though.
Yeah, because I don't want, if I would have stood there,
See, I
I would have
would've
gone
stayed.
hit. No way.
I would've
Why?
stayed. I don't
To
know.
prove what?
No, not... Okay, if I was you, I'd leave.
Yes.
If I was me, I would have stayed.
Yeah, because you're different. You possess DNA that I don't possess. You are courageous.
I'm a fan of chaos. It's not courage. It's a fan of chaos.
You walk into a cage with 4-ounce gloves and nothing else and fight other human beings, and things sometimes go wrong, and you say, I want to do that again.
Yeah, but we don't feel any different than you would feel.
No, you're different. You're different.
Maybe.
I think you have to go.
Do I?
I don't know. I think I saw something. Yes, do we have to go?
I
No,
have to
okay.
go?
I think I saw
don't
it.
have to go?
But Uriah Faber is here, so I do have to.
Okay, I can't take any of Uriah Faber's stuff.
Legend. And
What a
Slava
legend.
Claus, too, if you want to get a
Slava
nugget for
Claus.
the
at that.
broadcast. Yeah.
Slava Claus.
You know,
Love that guy. Oh, I love that guy.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Anthony Smith, you're the man. I
appreciate you.
You've got the YouTube channel. You got the show with Mike. Believe you me, Sirius on Wednesdays.
Yeah, we're doing a live show here at...
Today?
No, on Friday at Legends Bar.
Okay.
So come check
Who's
it
it?
out. It's me, RJ Clifford, and Dean.
Dean Thomas.
Yeah, come check it out.
I'm doing a live
you
show on
probably don't-
Friday, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks for counter programming.
You taking you taking your whole studio with you?
No.
Where are you going?
We're going to another place called City Winery.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
Well, last year you came, and I feel like that's just one. I mean, how many times am I going to cash this chip in?
Every time.
I'm a very, I have
I
guilty
really just
conscience.
want the hoodie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Just want the hoodie.
I'll send you a hoodie.
All right, perfect.
And also, in addition to that, he's working for ESPN. Am I missing something? You got the podcast, you got the radio show,
No.
TV work, and soon to be color work.
Someday. Yeah, someday.
I think I need to put in a call.
And I'm
Zach?
going to be a catcher on slap fighting.
Oh, you
That's
got
done.
that gig?
That's done.
You
Yeah.
got it?
Yeah, we just got to get the date.
Wow.
Right here, bro.
You and Forrest Griffin?
Me and Forrest, we're catching bodies.
Would you do that?
Slap fighting?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. There's a number, but it's higher than they probably want to pay. But
Is
if
it
they met
higher than your MMA number?
No. No, it's close probably.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty
You don't
easy.
even have to train for that.
Yeah, it's easy. I'm not easy. I mean, it's pretty tough,
If
I'd
you could
imagine.
slap fight one guy out there, who would it be?
The smallest guy.
Is there a weight class?
Yeah, but
There
I
is.
no, I'd have to be a hybrid.
Like a 205?
No, I like
If
a
you slap fight
55er.
Alex Pereira.
Would I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would it go?
I don't know. I
What?
don't know. His chin has seemed to be, I don't know. Mine's held up better than his recently.
Yeah.
It has.
Shots fired.
At 205, it's held up all right, though. He didn't take any big shots, but
Right.
it held up okay.
Yeah,
Could be a
why
weight
is he
cutting
pushing
thing.
for a grappling match? You versus him in slap is
I would
the
love
fight.
that.
You would love it.
A grappling match?
No. Slap.
I would love anything.
Yeah,
I
okay.
would do it all.
Well, we'll start with the MMA title fight, of course, if he wins on Saturday. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.